Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer. So let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
All right. Are we recording? Are we recording? You know, welcome to Kill Me Now. I don't know why I would start with if any of my students start with I'm like, no, stop. Anyway, welcome to Kill Me Now. I'm very excited about today's episode. I do want to begin with some very sad news. My very close friend, confidant, brother, the funniest man alive, Bob Smith, passed away on January.
So sorry.
Okay, more dramatic. Okay,
I didn't know.
Passed away.
It is dramatic.
January 20th from complications from ALS, the worst fucking disease ever. The fuck? There is no God. And anyway, he was the funniest, and we're gonna do a memorial service. But that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about Bob and how fucking funny he was. He was
So
the first
funny.
openly gay comic to be on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. He had a first openly gay male to have an HBO special. 5 books. He's the author of 5 books.
Incredible.
I mean, Treehab is his last book. He wrote it literally. He had an iPad and he had one hand that he could lift up. He'd lift up his arm. He couldn't move his fingers. He'd lift up his arm and he'd drop one finger on the letter, and he wrote his book, and it's an amazing book, Treehab. He wrote it with one finger on an iPad. And all of his books, Remembrance of Things I Forgot, is the only book I've ever read on the subway and missed my stop. I literally missed my stop.
He's such a brilliant writer.
I know.
And what a handsome fella.
Oh my God, he was so handsome.
Like Superman.
Yeah,
like gorgeous.
But and then I never looked at him like that. Like I was like, he was always like my brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, Bob, you're such a nerd, because he used to walk in the we used to go to P-Town all the time, and there's rocks on the beach, and he'd look like such a nerd walking in the water, like avoiding the rocks. And I'm like, Bob, you're such a little, I can't say faggy because everyone will get mad, but.
He's dead now, you could say.
No, but I'm just saying faggy in the sense that we used to use the word when we were kids, not as a slur against gay men who I love. But I'm gonna miss him, I think, and it's just been a really hard couple of days. So I love you, Bob. We'll talk more. I want to do an episode about him.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I'm thinking about today. And it's such a great way to introduce our guest who suffers from depression like me.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Perfect segue.
Yeah. Aparna Nancherla. Yeah, I love you.
Love you guys.
No,
Thank you for having me.
by the way, Aparna is the funniest person on Twitter ever I'm not kidding. You are brilliant. You're moving Seth is here. He's moving my mic away.
No.
Meanwhile, I want to say I'm sorry about Jen Kirkman not talking in the microphone. It wasn't her fault. It's the fault of someone else who will get upset. But
which wasn't me.
which wasn't you, no,
Or me.
or Seth, but it's
was
someone
me.
very
It was Aparna.
It was Aparna.
Me.
It's someone sensitive and but
Whose name rhymes with
Matrick. But we love Datrick, but
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, but her mic, he needed to move her mic. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Aparna, I've been dying to have you on, and you're so annoying because I
know,
direct message you
did.
and you're like, no, I'm gonna be away. I'm going away. I'm gonna be away. I love you because I love women comics and humorists and
Les.
satirists. VP. Hennessy is, when he gets on my nerves, he goes on VP, which is voice probation. So he's on. All right. Aparna is one of those comics, so original, so true to who you are. I mean, exactly. You're fucking brilliant. And all right, so when you do your tweetar, when you're tweeting, do you? We're going to go back to the story of your life, which we do with all our guests. But do you ever save something? Do you ever I thought of something really funny, but I just had 400 things that I just posted that are really funny. Do you ever save it too, or do you just do it when it comes to your head, in your mind?
I feel like I used to save more drafts. I would stockpile them, but then I think I had an incident when there was the send all button.
Right.
And then a bunch of them posted all together, all 99 at the same time, because I accidentally hit the button when I put my phone back in my purse, and then people are like, "Are you okay? Are you having a breakdown?" So,
God, you're so prolific.
I know, but these are not ideas at all. But so then I just stopped stockpiling after that. And now I sort of just, as it occurs to me, I'll just do it. And now with the political climate and stuff, it's kind of like you have something to talk about every 5 minutes.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. So,
It's a silver lining.
Aparna, you grew up in the D.C. area.
Yeah.
Correct? And you're the daughter of immigrants. Isn't that interesting? Immigrants.
Talk
And
about it.
are they physicians?
They're both physicians, yeah.
Oh, my God. So you're from a really dumb family.
Yeah.
Uneducated.
Real dumb
What
dumbs.
kind of physicians?
My dad is an anesthesiologist, and my mom's an endocrinologist.
The two easiest pronounceable
Yeah.
professions in the world.
Did they meet at school? Or
I
they met?
think they had an arranged marriage.
No
Yeah,
way!
yeah.
Oh my God, fascinating.
Yeah.
We should have them on.
So, I said you're on VP.
Oh, right. I forgot.
Although someone did write in. Did you hear the comment? Someone wrote in and said, I yell at Hennessy too much.
too much.
Let's see. Where is it? It's so annoying.
You have an advocate out
But
there.
then
one.
she kind of said something about, you're still funny and you hate Trump, so I love you. But it was a little bit on your side of how do you have people working for you when you scream like that?
Every once in a while. Well, I work for free. That's how.
So do I.
Hey.
Oh my God. Take care.
all right.
Thank you, Entercom. Or is that how you say it? Entercom? Yeah.
Who knows?
I know. All right. Anyway, so they were arranged marriage in India?
Yeah, in India.
So how old was your mother?
I think, let's see, when she got married, she was 21.
Wow.
Yeah.
Had she dated? Well, what's the culture? What is the culture that?
I think when they were growing up, I think it's different now, but when they were growing up, it was basically you would get get a matchmaker, and then I think,
Matchmaker, make me a match. Yes. Find me a find and catch me a catch. Ding, ding. Okay, go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
and I think they met maybe 3 times, but supervised visits.
Okay, that is so mental. Don't you
Yeah.
think it's mental?
It does seem a very different approach to marriage.
Yeah. Now, do you think your parents love each other? Is there passion?
I mean, I think it's that.
They
I
learn
would,
to love each other?
yeah, I mean, I think that's the idea is that you don't have to, the love doesn't have to come before, it can develop after, is
Right.
the idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that an Indian thing, or is it...
I guess so, and I guess it's also just through the idea of marriage as an economic agreement,
Right.
and are the families compatible, and will this...
Do you think that... All right, so if
Yeah.
you take that into consideration, that it is an economic agreement, and it is about property, and
Yeah.
you'd think that people would be more prone to gay marriage, to
Right.
support gay marriage. Do you
Yeah.
find that in your culture that they are, or it's
I
just...
don't think so.
Yeah, I know. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
It's hello. It's
I
not
know.
about... that's what I say to people. When gay people
Yeah.
got married, when it passed in New York, where did they go to get married? They went to City Hall. They didn't go to a
Right.
religious institution. They went to get the same rights. All right, anyway, back to you. So growing up with parents who were where they had an arranged marriage in India and
Yeah.
then moved here?
Yes.
Did you feel the love between them?
Yeah, but I think they were. I mean, I think in general, growing up, we were a pretty guarded family. We
Right.
weren't very emotionally explicit in the
Right.
household. Like they wouldn't be like super lovey-dovey towards
Right.
each other, but they were affectionate towards each other.
See, my parents never were so unaffectionate to
Yeah.
us too.
Really?
Yeah. So it was like, yeah, they would never. I got hit a lot, but it's like no one hugged each other.
Right,
Know, and it was also. They would do a little peck. I mean, if I
Yeah.
look at their movies from their honeymoon, they're all over each other.
Right.
But never when it wasn't like, hey, honey, I'm home, and then kiss
Right.
And any sort of feelings like, when people would be overly emotional or crying about something, they were always like, oh, that's just fake. It's fake. Yeah,
interesting.
but who the hell knows? So you have a sister, right?
Mm-hmm, just an older sister, yeah.
And what does she do?
She does kind of a range of community organizing, social justice, public health stuff.
I think it's so interesting that they have this arranged marriage.
Yeah.
And yet your mother's so accomplished. It's not like,
Right.
she's getting an arranged marriage so she could,
Oh, right.
iron his handkerchiefs,
Yes, yeah.
It's that she is her own woman and, her own person. And,
No, right.
yeah.
And we grew up definitely with two like full-time working parents.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Did you go to India a lot as a kid?
When I was younger, we would go every other summer because they both still have a lot of family there and both their parents live there. But I think as we got older and had our own schedules, we stopped going as much.
So here you are. You're in a suburb of Washington. Are you the only family from India, or was it?
No, I
were
would
you
say like
Muslim or
the Hindu.
Hindu.
But I would say the suburbs of DC.
Judy, you're an asshole. I just want to just do
No,
it.
There are Muslim
There are a
Indians.
lot of Muslims.
But I feel like I should have known that. Okay, so you're Hindu, yeah.
Yeah, and I do feel like the suburbs of DC were actually really diverse, just 'cause
Right.
by virtue of maybe
government,
and the World Bank, and
Right.
So there was a lot of like immigrant families.
And was there a Hindu temple there?
There was, I think it was in.
Did you get bat mitzvah? Go ahead, sorry.
I think we did. Not about mitzvah, but we
right.
did. There is like a sari tying ceremony
There
for
is?
girls, which is like I think when some people do it earlier, but
Right.
we did ours when we were 16. I think.
Oh, 16.
Yeah.
They should have a sorry for the Jews too, because that's all we do is say we're sorry. We can have a sorry time. Sorry, I'm sorry. So
Spelled different.
what?
Spelled different.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
VP. So you have this family. Your parents are both. I mean, like, when does that fucking happen? That the parents are? Did you ever stay home from school because you were sick, or was your parents like,
No, I feel
Aparna?
Yeah. There
You
was
could
a
never
very high-
fake.
Yeah, there was a very high bar for missing school.
Yeah. And what were you like? I was a very unpopular child. I was, as most comics. What were you like in school?
I think I was very straight-laced by the book. Like I was a very sheltered kid. I think
Right.
growing up, our parents still were like a little bit suspect of Western culture, so we weren't allowed.
I don't know why it's going so well right now.
Like we weren't allowed to go on sleepovers, or there were just like weird rules. Like we couldn't have chewing gum. We couldn't watch a lot of TV shows.
Yeah, you didn't have cable or anything,
Yeah,
right?
no. Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
I don't. I agree with the chewing gum.
Do you?
I hate chewing gum. I mean, we had strict rules like
Yeah.
table manners, how to hold the fork, and I still scream at my kids.
Oh wow!
I screamed at a comic.
About their table manners?
Yeah, I was at the Comedy Cellar, and the way he was holding it, and we're having a conversation. He's holding his fork. I was like, I couldn't. It's like first of all, you don't lick your knife.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh my god!
You don't.
I've never seen someone lick. their knife.
Where they'll cut something and then they'll like lick the sauce off. I just no, and hold it in your one and stop. And I had a whole argument. He's like, no. I'm like, no, I am right. You are fucking wrong.
Do you ever yell at people in clubs that are a part of your audience where they have food? They serve food and drink and things like that.
No, I've never yelled at an audience
I mean,
member.
for their table manners.
Probably.
Probably.
I can't stand when people eat during a show. You know?
I do remember my mom made us my sister and I take an etiquette class.
No
at one
way.
point. Yeah. Like
No
at the community
way.
center.
And what was it?
It was like table manners and like when you get up, when like, the host comes in.
So my grandmother was born in 1896, and she used to tell us, or my mother told, they used to have to ask before they could speak at the dinner table.
Wow.
May I speak now?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't do that, but I remember like you're not allowed to use a pusher to get something on your fork.
Right.
And we would sit at the table. My mother would not use it was like, I'm going to get it on the she'll curse, I'm going to get it on the goddamn fork. But, you could, there's certain, we were taught all that kind of, and if you're going to be with the Queen of England, you're going to eat like that? I don't think so, Judith. All right. So,
have you ever met the Queen of England?
No.
I feel like you would have.
No.
That's not totally out of the question.
Yeah, of course. Here's another comment from Hennessy that doesn't move the dialogue along the conversation. Thank you so much. Okay, so did you have friends or?
Yeah, I think I had friends
like the nerdy smart kids.
Yeah, but I was like pretty shy, so it would be like my friends would be the other sheltered kids.
Right.
Who sort of.
I would have been friends with you, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I love those kids. And were you funny?
I was very shy, so I feel like I kept to myself.
Is your sister shy?
She's less shy than I am. She's the more
you can't be like
one.
a community organizer and be.
She's a little bit more.
So what were you involved in high school and grammar school? Like after school stuff. I'm sure you got straight A's.
Yeah, I mean,
what would happen if you got like a?
My parents had kind of like expected a certain level of performance, but they weren't like. They didn't like punish us if we were like doing bad. It would more be like, okay, well then let's put you in tutoring or let's
tutoring, yeah.
But
they're Jews, your parents.
Well, aren't sometimes
we're
Hindus are called just brown Jews.
Yeah, you probably are. We say temple just like we do.
Right, yeah.
But I used to come home. Hindus, that's funny.
Thank you.
But I used to come home. I'd be like, "What'd you get on your test?" I'm like 98. Why didn't you get 100? It was always nothing was good enough.
Yeah.
Ergo, stand-up comic.
Right.
So, all right. So, did you do any sort of theater, or what was it? What were you?
We did a lot of extracurriculars, but it was always like piano lessons, or like dance class.
Right.
For a while, we were in like this like basically just supplemental school.
After regular school? Yeah, I had to go to Hebrew school, but not a. And what was it?
It was called like Kumon, and it was
I've seen those.
Oh yeah,
Kumon. Yeah. Wait, so that was like everyone else is going out to smoke pot at the schoolyard, and you're like at Kumon doing, calculus.
Yeah, well,
that's fun.
It was like some Japanese tutoring, which would make you really fast at math or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Were you good at math?
We were like good at it, but I was like, I guess you could be better at it.
Right. I know. It's like, okay. So, and you had a group of friends. I mean, you were fine, right? So,
but definitely not popular.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no.
Same. Well, this season, celebs are in the house. The first ever edition of Celebrity Big Brother is in full swing, and CBS All Access subscribers can stream new episodes live across devices and watch the stars from every angle via exclusive live feeds. Oh, yeah, as they compete for the grand prize. I mean, this is so great to do with the gym. Plus, tune in multiple times each week for house guest challenges, competitions, and evictions hosted by Julie Chen. You're not going to believe the cast. The Celebrity Big Brother cast features Omarosa. Yeah, she left the White House and went to Celebrity Big Brother. Shannon Elizabeth, Mark McGrath, Keisha Knight Pulliam, Brandy Glanville, Meta World Peace, Chuck Liddell, James Maslow, Marissa Jarrett Winokur, Ross Matthews, and Ariadna Gutierrez. I think Judy Gold needs to go in that house. Anyway, when you subscribe to CBS All Access, you can stream the Celebrity Big Brother live feeds day and night to get raw, behind-the-scenes access to the house drama, and there is house drama, alliances, betrayals, and intimate conversations between your favorite celebrities, all available on your desktop, mobile, and streaming devices. Sign up now for a 1 week free, that's right, 1 week free trial of CBS All Access. Just visit cbs.com/gold. That's cbs.com/gold. Gold, as in Judy Gold. When did you first feel anxious as a kid?
I think I felt anxious constantly as a kid, but didn't have the language to know that's what it was.
Right.
I think I can name it in retrospect, but growing up I was like, oh, I think this is just how everyone's brains work, that they're just like scared of everything all the time.
Right.
Or I thought I was just overly scared of things and needed to like get over it or something.
Right. Did you say anything to your parents or anything?
No, I mean, when I was little, I would like get very anxious about going to school and like, but then I would a lot of times just like sort of tamp it down and just deal with it.
You know, it's interesting. I know that I'm going to make a parallel that's not going to make any sense, but that whole, when you say like I felt something, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it's, when people ask you, when did you know you were gay?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like I knew something was different, but I didn't know what it was until I got, it's like, it's kind of similar. But so so you have these parents who are doctors and you're anxious. Like all right. So I used to bang my head against the pillow, bloody fingers to, just picking at my cuticles, my leg, my mother's, Judith, you're so hyper, like constantly. And really anxious all the time. But it's like we didn't have the knowledge and no one talked about it. But I would think that your parents are doctors and they would kind of, is your sister anxious?
Yeah, I mean, I think our anxiety and depression stem from my mom because she deals with both, but we weren't.
Wait, now I'll do my mother. Everything's my fault. Okay.
But it didn't like come out till much later.
Right.
So I was sort of like, oh,
does she talk about her depression?
Now
mother?
I feel like we're more open about mental health in general. But back then it was like not something we talked about as a family. And I think my dad's still on the side of like doesn't deal as much with mental health stuff or emotions in general. So I think more skeptical of the whole thing.
So unusual for a man. So did you go on family vacation? Like what'd you do in the summertime and stuff?
We went on a lot of family vacations. I feel like anytime they had like a medical conference, we would all go.
Right.
And sort of.
And what was that like?
It was, I mean, I feel like it was a typical sort of upper middle class family. Like we would go to like Disney World or anything touristy, and like my dad would take a bunch of photos. And
this is how my family vacations went. We'd go to like Williamsburg. Yeah. Right. And then my father would have an itinerary from the minute, sunrise, and we had to see everything and learn everything. And, it was nonstop.
Right.
Every vacation we went on.
So you didn't really get to relax?
Well, if I look at videos of us on, from the camera, it's, my family. My family's all walking down the street and looking, oh, look at that. Oh, the pilgrim. And I'm behind them like a doofus, like making faces and
just going nuts.
Yeah, going absolutely crazy. But it's like, did you drive to these places? Because flying wasn't a big thing in the late 60s and 70s. And we used to drive, and it was... there was first of all, there were no one wore a seatbelt, but then there was AM radio, maybe FM you could get, but we had to make up shit in the car to do. And now every kid is looking at a fucking screen.
Right.
Yeah. So what, did you guys do fun things, or was everything educational?
I think we would fly sometimes, but we would go on road trips, and it would be like my mom being like, here, we're going to do vocab cards.
That's so fun. Did you get like a perfect score in your SATs?
No, but I think I got a pretty high score.
Yeah. Not me. So your parents wanted you to be a doctor, of course. Yeah. And your sister too? Mm-hmm. And did you say no fucking way? Like,
I think I was pretty firmly like, oh, I don't think I'm interested in that early on. And I think she was like more like, well, maybe.
Right.
I think she was pre-med for a while even.
Really?
Yeah. Like I think when she was in undergrad, she thought about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're anxious. Mm-hmm. you don't say anything to your parents.
Yeah.
Do you go to like the guidance counselor? Like, what do you do with your anxiety?
I think for a long time, I think it was like function. Like I could still like function when I was little. Like it was there, but I just sort of worked around it and was basically just an introvert. Like when I didn't have to be out at school or like socializing, I would just have my head buried in a book.
Right.
So
Did anyone tease you? Did you get teased?
I think so. I think I got.
How about she says I think so? That's so cute.
Well, I mean,
She was too into her book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely kept a low profile in general. But I think I got glasses, I think, when I was 8 and got teased for, like, glasses. And
kids are such fucking assholes.
It's crazy.
That's
right.
so hack. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, that's bad. Bigfoot and Sasquatch every time you walk down the hall
too.
was really great. But
yeah, I think even earlier than that, I think bullies can sniff out the weak ones.
oh yeah. Did you go like trick or treating? Did you do any of that? Oh,
yeah,
you did.
we did that. Yeah,
all right. So they let you.
They let us like I think anything where it was like, oh, it seems like this is something kids here do. Like we don't want them to feel completely left out.
What was the thing about the sleepovers that you weren't allowed to do?
Oh, I think it was because they were like, we don't know that family and we don't know what their rules are, so we don't feel comfortable with you spending the night there.
Right.
Yeah.
You're listening to Kill Me Now with Judy Gold.
I remember I had a sleepover. Literally like a block away. It was up the hill. And then I got sick because I was probably homesick. And my mother had to come get me at 3 a.m. But I could have walked, it's like, yeah, sleepovers are weird. But my kids, that's like forever. Can I sleep over?
Really?
Yeah, that's all they wanted to do. Can I have 5 friends sleep over? Can we all sleep? But now they're older, so they don't give a shit. So you didn't watch, because you had no TV or no cable, you didn't watch stand-up.
No.
You didn't, did you watch the news? Did you ever have the TV on? Was there a radio on?
Well, my dad would watch the news, and then I think as a family we would watch nature shows or stuff that was more
I love that.
More neutral, where it wasn't sitcoms were apparently scandalous.
Right.
And sometimes we watch like Jeopardy or something.
Yeah. But did you talk about social issues or anything? Or
I don't think so. I feel like politics and world issues. I feel like I got to at a later age.
Right.
Yeah.
When did you realize? Oh, I'm an immigrant. Were you so aware that you were not a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant?
I think when I was in elementary school, my class was so diverse. There were so many kids of international kids and kids of immigrant parents that I didn't think it was abnormal. Right. And then as I got older, I think I noticed it was not everyone. But it is Northern Virginia, there are a ton of Indian American families. There's a ton of Asian families. So it is... Yeah, it wasn't as abnormal as maybe in some other places.
I grew up in Clark, New Jersey, and right next door is Edison, New Jersey.
Yeah, which is Little India.
Right, and the food is so fucking good. Yeah, Edison was our next... That's my father died in Edison at the fucking pool, at the Clark pool. It was in Edison, and he had a fucking heart attack there. I hated that goddamn pool, yeah. No, I hated that pool. My parents were always like, Judith... You really need to come to the pool, right? So it was because they went swimming every day in the summer. I'm like, no, I hate everyone at school. I don't want to fucking see those kids. And I'm not going to be in a bathing suit when they call me Bigfoot and Sasquatch anyway. And then I'm going to be in a fucking bathing. Yeah.
So stressful.
And then my father, has a heart attack at the fucking pool. And I was like, see, I fucking hate that goddamn pool.
My parents really, maybe when my sister and I were 9 and 11, they started getting into working out and going to the gym.
Really?
And then they would make us come with them to work out.
That's
but it
good.
was well, kind of, but it's kids our age would be playing sports, not doing the elliptical. So it would it would be
Did they go to the Jewish Community Center?
No, they went to some kind of
gym.
Yeah,
Yeah, we used to go to the Jewish Community Center and go swimming, and my parents took us ice skating. I hated fucking ice skating.
That was at the Jewish Community Center?
No, there was a rink.
Oh, nice.
But I hated it. It was, first of all, I was like 5 inches taller because of the fuck, and I couldn't, and I hated it. And
they hurt
loved
my
it.
feet.
Yeah, we
Ice
played
skates.
a lot of tennis. My mother played tennis. We would play tennis, but we were big swimmers. All right, so you're going to the gym with your parents. You're going to Kumon.
Yeah. Yep.
You're reading,
Yeah.
and you know nothing. Do you know about the art of stand up? Like, where did you?
No, I mean, I think the one time.
Did you go to the theater?
One or two. I think we went to plays, but I think just like as some of that was just like field trips for school. We would go to like community events, like Indian community events and like cultural events, but. Yeah, I think stand-up, like, I just saw maybe by accident on television once, like, Ellen was on some special or something.
Right.
But I still didn't really know what it was, and I definitely didn't think it was, like, something that was accessible to anyone. Yeah.
So you end up going to a public speaking class. Is that correct? Is that your mother's idea?
Yeah.
How old were you?
I think maybe 10.
And was it
11.
to come out of your shell, basically?
Yeah, I think she was like, this is a skill that will be useful to you.
She was so good at educating you. Like,
yeah, she was very...
Well, that was progressive. So you go to the class. Is it for people your age, or was it a...
I think there were a range of ages, but we might have been the youngest people in it.
And that you and your sister.
Yeah.
And so would you have to give your first speech on?
I think it was like something like a hobby of yours or something.
So do you remember your speech?
I don't remember anything about that class.
Do you remember feeling like, oh, I like standing in front of people? No.
I did feel like it felt more manageable than like talking to someone one-on-one where it's like I wasn't sure exactly what to say all the time. Like I was like, okay, I have my index cards.
And you're in control. You have control of the whole conversation. All right. I just want an aside that Henry, my older son, is he's in college and he's in a public speaking class.
Oh.
So last Friday, he's at the class and the professor is like, okay, so we're going to do a speech on something that is, you can argue one side of that hasn't been settled, or I don't know what the exact time. So they're all yelling, mundane crap.
Yeah.
So Henry said, what about gay marriage?
Yeah.
And the professor said, well, that's been decided by the federal government. Meanwhile, I'm like, no, there's 37 states, and he said it's already been decided by the federal government. And another kid in the class says, well, you could argue the morality of it. And Henry says, yeah, you can if you want me to fuck you up after class. And he's like, I said it in front of the whole class. And the professor was like, well, Henry, you have to look at other sides. And but he knew the professor was on his side. So, of course, Elisa, my girlfriend, is like, well, that's terrible. And I'm like, I'm like, yeah, you go, Henry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think that's right. And it's like, I just love that about him. You know what I mean?
Wasn't it his idea?
That's pretty
Well,
great.
it was his idea, gay marriage. And
Right,
the
to
teacher,
debate it, right?
And no, but just the legal part of it.
I see.
Oh, I see.
And but it had, and the professor was like, no, well, you can't argue whether it should be legal or not because. And then the other kids, you can.
Good for him.
I know.
He
He's
is
so
you.
fun. But everything is like he's going to beat the shit out of someone. That's the only problem. But
He's such a nice guy, though.
I know.
He'd probably just hold him down.
No.
It's like, don't do it again.
Hennessy, no, he's very violent.
Okay.
All right. So, okay. So you go to this. Were you funny, like, at all? Like, even in your writing, like in high school, were any of your teachers like, oh, Aparna, you have a great sense of humor? That was my imitation of one of Aparna's teachers, by the way. Aparna, can I see you after class? I read one of your essays, and not only are you very prolific, but you're very funny.
Such a soothing voice.
You right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And everyone calls me soothing.
Aw.
But Aparna, you're getting an A+ in the class.
I like you like this.
Great, it's not happening. So,
I think I had like sort of a very wild imagination. I would write like very creative stuff, but I don't think, I don't know that it was explicitly funny.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're thinking of going to West Point. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Like to
after
be
high school.
Right. Why would you even, was it the discipline? What was it?
I think it's something I sort of stumbled on more recently, but I think when I was in elementary school was when the Gulf War happened.
Right.
And I think I got like sucked into the sort of propaganda of like the troops and supporting the troops. And I think I wrote a letter to a soldier and they wrote back, and I was just, like very caught up in the like bravery and sacrifice of it all. So I think I kind of held on to that, and then through high school I still didn't really know what I wanted to do with myself.
Right.
So I was like, oh, maybe I should go the military route and like serve my country.
Right.
Yeah. But I think that's what.
And what? All right. So
planted
let's
the seed.
do a scene where you're telling your parents that you want to serve in the military. Okay. Yes, Aparna, dear. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think
Did you finish your homework?
I did.
Oh, good. Okay, go ahead.
It's
I don't know what
all
accent
done.
this is, but I'm enjoying
That's
it.
perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Aparna, what do you want? Oh, I have a patient. Hold on. Oh, yes. Okay, go ahead.
I was thinking about colleges.
Oh, Aparna, your thyroid is looking very.
Oh, thank you.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
I've been thinking about colleges, and I think one of the ones that I'm seriously considering is actually West Point. Which is,
all right. So was that about
that's not that
far
far off.
Really?
They weren't thrilled.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I mean, some parents I think are.
You
I guess if
can't.
you're,
Aparna, no, you can't. You can't.
I think if you're from a military family, maybe it's part and parcel to be expected.
Oh, we're looking. Hi, guys.
Oh
Why
my
does she
gosh, all these friends are here.
Oh my God! How many people does
Wow.
Marina Franklin have?
Oh, Marina.
She has to have it. Yeah, she has a podcast on this network too.
I forgot that.
And apparently, she has a huge entourage, unlike me. So your parents were like, "No, you're not going to West Point."
Yeah, I mean, they were like, please reconsider.
Okay, so
And it was like on my list, but it wasn't like this or bust.
right,
Yeah.
So you end up going to Amherst, where, by the way, they want my son to play basketball there.
Really?
Yeah, but he wants to play Division I, which is a great school. Why? Can you close the door? Hennessy, fucking make yourself. Oh, the door's broken. Great. So you end up going to Amherst,
Yeah.
right? Did you get into? Why'd you pick Amherst? I'm sure you got into other Ivy League.
I think it was because in the end I was like, I just don't think I know what I want to do for the next 9 years of my life. Because it's like 4 years of school and then 5 years of automatic military service.
Right.
And I was like, I can't decide that right now.
Where else did you get in? Because I know you probably got into like Harvard and.
No, I didn't actually apply to Harvard. I think I applied to, I think I got into Cornell and then in-state, maybe William and Mary. I think my parents were like, think about in-state, but I wanted to go far away.
Yeah, my parents made us go to Rutgers, even though, because it was cheap. So you go to Amherst. So that's a good distance away.
Yeah. It's pretty far.
Do you feel like, like I remember when I went to college, the whole world opened up because I thought, oh no, I'm going to live in a dorm and they're going to call me Bigfoot and Sasquatch and I'm going to have no escape.
Right.
So, but it ended up being, wow, I'm actually, they like me. You know, Sally Field, but just that I was popular and funny,
Right.
So did you come into your own? Marina, get away. Get away. I'm having my podcast.
Marina's like a puppy at the window.
Marina's showing us her tits. Marina, come in. No, now she doesn't come in. She just stands at the window. She's walked, just so for the listeners, Marina has walked back and forth and now is looking at Aparna and pointing at her like, hi, I miss you. Fuck you. I'm going to her. Where's she recording? Because I'm going to go fucking stand there. She's an asshole. Fuck you, Marina. I love you. All right, so back to you. So did you ever curse in your family, by the way?
I think maybe my dad did, but we weren't allowed to curse at all.
Same.
Yeah.
I remember once I was playing out on the front lawn, and my mother had bought me all this new furniture for my room. And she was like, Judith, get in here. And I was like, I'm playing. Judith, get. She was joking. She was going to yell, and I was going to think I was getting in trouble for something, and then she was going to show me my new, because nothing was normal in my family. So I'm like, oh fuck, or I must have been like 6 or 7 years old, and that's it. And then I felt so fucking guilty. Because I said fuck, and it was really about her showing me, and that's
not fair. That's not fair.
And the
she set you up.
I know. So you get to college. Does your world open up? Because now you're with other bookworms and other, and you realize, I fit in here. Or was it a big?
Yeah,
sort of epiphany?
I think at least friendship-wise and worldview-wise, it definitely opened up just the range of people I met, and just spending that much time with people your age was a new thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And not having to go to Kuma.
Right, exactly.
And being able to do whatever the fuck you wanted. So, now, had you been to therapy before this or anything?
No, I don't
think it was. So you're suffering your anxiety.
Yeah.
But you don't. Do you realize at this point? Oh, I have anxiety or depression.
Still. I mean, I don't feel like mental health was even something I was aware of until later.
So, what did you major in?
Psychology.
Mm-hmm. And do you think even then you didn't realize?
No, I mean that actually happened. My sophomore year was when I declared, but my sophomore year was also when I took time off from school because I started having problems with my eating, which turned out to be a mask for depression. So that was sort of when everything came crashing
All right, so
down.
you're a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
And is it first semester or second semester?
First semester.
First semester. And freshman year went okay?
Freshman year went okay, but I think it was that thing where you are like, oh, I'm going to go to college and all my questions are going to be answered. And sort of being like, oh, no, I don't really have any answers.
So you took time. Did you go to school and then have to quit? Or
yeah, because another thing which made me pick Amherst was actually sports related because I had run cross country and track in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So because it wasn't Division I, I could continue running there. So...
And that's so psychological because it's all about endorphins.
Yeah. And that also exacerbated the eating issues because there was a lot of sort of disordered eating problems, I think, among some of the runners. So I think the first semester I didn't really know what was going on, but by the end of it, I was like, oh, I think something is happening.
Right.
That's bad.
Because I'm emaciated.
Yeah.
So how far did you run? You were on cross country, so what was your...
So the meets would be 5K.
Right, 3.2.
But then I think our longest runs would be, 10 to 12 miles.
Right.
Yeah.
I used to run too. And I think, and now I have a fake knee, but I was addicted because of the fucking I'm telling you, nothing...
Right.
Nothing makes you feel like after you've run 10 miles.
I know.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah. Do you still run?
I also have kind of a janky knee, so I sort of stick to the elliptical, but I try to sneak it back in, and then my knee acts up.
That's what I do.
Yeah. And
I'm like, I'll just do 1 mile.
Yeah.
And then for 2 weeks, Do you spin? Spinning's good.
I haven't gotten.
Oh my God! You know how you sweat for
Yeah.
It kind of gives me the same, that
same rush.
Yeah, you should try the spinning.
Good to know.
But then your vagina, you have to wear you have to wear the padded pants because it's I mean. I don't know. If you're sitting there, because I can't do less than 40, 45 minutes because I'm mentally ill. So, other people are like, oh, I did a 25-minute workout. I'm like, what? That's nothing,
Yeah.
But yeah. So, okay. So you leave. Now, were your parents like, Aparna, you cannot leave?
Well, I think
don't know
they
what
were worried.
Yeah.
I I think
Wait,
they
do
were-
more and more
do your
racist
mother.
as
Do
we
your
go.
mother. Do your
I
mother.
can't do my mother.
Oh, come on.
No, I mean, like, to me, she doesn't have an accent. I don't know
Oh,
if that's
fuck.
normal, but
Yeah.
like,
I
don't hear her accent.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you call them.
Yes, but I think my mom was more concerned about my health.
Right.
And they weren't thrilled that I was taking time off school, but they
Right.
were like, if this is what it takes, then fine.
And what was your sister doing? Was she being the favorite or?
She was actually interestingly the more rebellious one. So I feel like,
Really?
yeah. So I feel like growing up in high school and middle school, like she would be like maybe causing a little bit more friction with my parents. So then I went the route of like
Perfect child.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
keeping quiet.
So how long did you leave for? And did you go to therapy? And what did you do?
Yeah, I went to like an eating disorder recovery treatment program.
Sleepover?
It was a day program, but I think because it was out of state, I had to stay there.
Right.
Yeah. But
How long did you go there for?
just like I think it was like 5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what did they do?
Well,
And was it all girls mostly? Or-
yeah, it was all girls.
Yeah.
But
And-
mainly they just make you like try to gain weight and like, and then
I need
do
to go
group
to one of those.
therapy.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit like, it was like a cross between a nursing home and like
A rehab?
a rehab. Yeah.
So did you have your own room? Or did you have a
You
roommate?
had a roommate.
Who was your roommate? You can
I
just
think
use
my
for-
roommate switched, but at one point it was a girl named Katie, I believe.
Really? Where was Katie from?
Maybe Delaware.
Really?
Yeah.
And was she, so what was it? Anorexia, bulimia?
All of that, but then a lot of other people had, maybe also substance abuse issues or like
no
cutting.
obesity?
I don't think there was overeating.
Because that would be bad. If you're obese and,
I know.
and you're with all the anorexics,
terrible.
yeah, then you'd really feel like shit. But so what did your day consist of? Did you feel mental?
Yeah,
Like,
kind
yeah.
of. But also, I think I felt like I wasn't as bad, gone down the path as some of the other girls. So I
Right.
would see that and be kind of like scared to. I would be like, no, I can't. Like, I need to start eating because I don't want to end up like
Right,
that.
right. 5 weeks is a long time.
I
For,
know. It was a long time.
did
but-
your parents visit or was it all
Yeah,
monitored?
because I think there were a couple times where it was like family therapy, so
Right.
they would have to come.
Did they cry? I'm sorry.
I don't think so.
Really?
But I do think my sister like came to a session was like, "This is what I've been trying to tell you guys. Like, our family's messed up." And just stuff about like how we didn't express our emotions,
Right.
And
Well,
but that
of
was when I was
course,
first
yeah.
able to name like depression and some of the anxiety stuff. And I first went on medication.
What'd you
and
go
then-
on?
I think I started on Prozac.
Didn't
And
work
had
for
like
me.
weird dreams, but had less side effects than Zoloft.
Zoloft. We have talked about Zoloft a number of times on this
Really?
podcast.
I'm
yeah.
on Zoloft.
It makes me puke.
I know. Well, when
Made
you
my
first
hand shake.
when
It
I first
did?
got on it, it took me 3 months where I felt like an insane person.
Right.
I
Oh,
felt like
that's
I
shocking.
came into every conversation and just bombed it and flattened it out
Yeah.
right away.
Wow.
I felt like
Bing, bing, bing.
I've even more so than now.
Yeah.
I felt like I was very trembly. I was sleepy all the time.
Right.
I
Yeah.
had upsets. I think I pooped my pants once.
Okay.
But that was 3 months, and then
Right.
after that, it really has been the thing that helps me the most.
Really?
Yeah, it's been really.
Did
good
we
for
not
me.
tell you to shave that fake mustache, please?
I can't yet. I'm
Why?
doing things. There are people making I'm taking photos and documenting
I
shit and
understand,
whatever.
but didn't
Yes,
he
said
say?
that, yeah, but no, I've
Anthony
had.
said you need to shave it, and it'll.
But I've had other dudes say that they've shaved it and then it doesn't grow back for a really long time, and that would interrupt the process of what I'm trying to do right now. And if it and also
you
it's
could color it in,
color it in. Would that
Yeah.
bother you less?
No, it's just that it's
It's
all
a
right,
little
whatever.
puby right now?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so like 7th grade.
I know.
All right,
Everyone
it's all
thinks
right.
I'm 16. I'm kind of enjoying it.
Yeah, that's great. He's transitioning,
Yeah.
but
She knows.
Yeah, but I don't. I'm not into the mustache. All right. Anyway,
It's kind of cute, right?
no.
Yeah, peach fuzz.
All right.
Oh
Yeah.
God, shut up, Aparna. Everything I say. Okay, so wait, I'm fascinated by the. So you're on. So they put you on Prozac, and you go to group. Did you, like, what was your day? It wasn't like rehab where you had to like clean the floor and everything.
No,
right?
no. It was like you go to your meal. And
Did
the
they
meals
monitor
were-
your meals? Like,
Yeah, like you had to finish everything on your tray, otherwise. You
Oh,
had to
God, my
take,
mother
like,
would have
a
loved that.
Supplemental. drink.
really?
And everyone would be on like a meal plan.
Yeah.
Mom would
Help
have loved to
gain
send you
weight.
there.
Yeah, because we used to eat. Joe, I'm not. Not until you finish your meal. I can't believe.
Yeah, my dad was like that.
Yeah.
You had to clear your plate.
My mother and your father would have been the perfect couple. Judith, you're not going anywhere until you. I'm like, oh God. All right. So they monitored your meals.
And then you would get weighed every day.
Oh, that is mental.
I know. It was like, I was like, I feel like
can't-
this is making this worse for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Counterintuitive,
Yeah.
But then, you wouldn't be allowed to see your weight, but you would be weighed. And then,
Right.
there'd be,
That's even more
the
mental.
medication line. Everyone had to get
So you
in
had to
line
stand in line. Did you have a uniform or anything?
No, you would just be in like your little medical robe from just getting
No
weighed.
way!
Yeah. It was nuts.
I just went to a dietitian on
Yeah.
Friday because, I've gained 40 pounds.
That's exciting. How was it?
I'm telling you in a minute.
Okay.
Anyway, and so I had weight issues too.
Yeah.
I always was, I'd be high and then I'd be low. But it was never like I was obese or anything. So
Yeah.
when I was 16, and for my 16th birthday, my grandmother got me this book, The Woman Doctor's Diet for Teenage Girls. That was my present. And then, and then my mother sent me to a hypnotist. Right? Did I ever talk about this on the show?
No, I don't think so.
And I used to have to say, I'd get weighed in every week.
Yeah.
And I had a card that said, I will eat properly and sparingly at every meal. I will eat properly and sparingly. And I had to say it like 100 times or 50 times, 3 times a day. I will eat properly and sparingly. Yes, it was fucking ridiculous.
Did you eat properly and sparingly at every meal?
No, I ate all the candy. We were just telling, my brother was visiting. We were just telling Ben that we sold candy bars for the band, and they'd give you like 100 candy bars. They were 50 cents each, and then you're supposed to go around to the houses or at school, and at the end of the selling the candy bars, I had to ask my mother for $50 because I ate all the.
No.
I used to have a joke in my act like, "Hey, Ma, can I have $50?" All right, so anyway, so that's so fucking mental.
I know.
To weigh yourself every. All right, so and you're in a row. Oh my God. Okay, so I hope they've changed this whole process.
I
since
don't
then.
know. I don't know what it's like now.
Okay, so after your 5 week, did you gain weight?
Yeah, I mean, I was very compliant.
Right.
Very compliant person.
And it's amazing you're in stand-up comedy and you're a compliant person. But I went to this dietitian the other day, and she's going over. First of all, I was on Paxil for many years. I had a very bad clinical depression, and that ended up being the medication I ended up on. I mean, I'd been on lithium and I was on everything, and then that was the one. And so I just have gotten off it. I'm still taking like 0.5 every 3 days or something. And I've already lost 7 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And my
That's amazing.
because my appetite is like a third of what it was.
They should call it Fatzel.
No, they call it Paxon. That's what the doctor said.
Oh, nice.
Paxil. She's like, don't you know they call it Paxon? I'm like, no, obviously I don't. So, I mean, I feel a little less bloated, but I still have 30 pounds to lose. So when you left the 5 weeks, were you normal weight or?
Yeah, I think I was back to a normal range, but I had to like keep up this certain meal plan.
Right.
But I was like not, no longer like medically.
Right. And did you stay on the Prozac?
Yeah, I think I switched to Celexa. And then,
I was on Celexa.
Lexapro.
Yeah, Celexa and Lexapro are similar.
Yeah.
But I used to get tired and hungry on those.
Well, I got very tired on Celexa, and then Lexapro sort of was less, but then Yeah. But
I used to
still,
have a
would
joke in
feel
my act
sleepy.
about it that, I've been on every antidepressant. So this is me on Celexa. Okay, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to make some coffee. Then I'm going to take a nap. Then I'm going to read the paper, go to the gym. Then I'm going to take a nap. I used to go through every drug. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to read the paper. Then I'm going to order a pizza. Because they were all
they all had crazy side
and your
effects.
dreams are so fucked up.
They're so weird.
And then the word thing. That's the other thing. When you can't find your words.
Oh my gosh,
I
that's what
hate
I
that.
have now. It's
I
terrible.
have that too.
It's terrible.
What is that? And I
Especially
don't
'cause
have
you're
enough words to begin with, so it's like, yeah.
Well, especially when you're like paid to speak, it's like
Yeah,
this
I
is
know.
not
It's
a
like
good
blah, 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 blah. So you leave after the 5 weeks, but you couldn't go back to college, right? Right away?
No, I mean, I stayed. I was at home until spring started.
What'd you
Or
do?
I mean, sorry,
till
through
spring
summer
semester. Yeah,
until
till
the
winter
next
semester.
fall, yeah.
Oh, till the
yeah, because I
right.
took all of spring off and then
Right.
was home for the summer and then
Okay,
yeah, back.
so you go back and you feel like a new woman.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was, especially with the antidepressants, it was a little bit like a new lease on life because
Right.
I didn't realize you could experience the world that way.
I know. That's the thing. I'm telling you, when I was pregnant,
Yeah.
I think that was the only time in my entire life I thought, oh, this is how normal people feel.
Really?
Yeah, because I think my hormones were in. I was like happy and nothing bothered me.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all right. And until I stopped breastfeeding, up until then.
Oh, man.
And I was like, I had, basically a year and a half experience of
Yeah.
what it feels like to
Of
be
happiness.
normal. And
Wow.
yeah, and but now I'm down to fucking back to being a shit. But
I know.
it sucks.
I know.
What is that? What
I
hormone
don't
is
know.
that?
I don't know.
You just get flooded with a lot of hormones.
Right,
When you're
yeah.
pregnant. Yeah.
Okay, so you go back and what do you decide to major? Is that when you decided to major in psychology?
Yeah, I mean,
after
I think that then I was
what
sort
was
of
the
like-
family therapy like? Like, did your father speak?
Yeah, I mean, I think he had the most trouble with the eating disorder thing because I
Right.
think especially...
Because he's a man.
Yeah, and also just like when you grew up like maybe not as well off and you're like
Right.
you don't want to eat, like what does
Right.
that even mean?
Right, like
Yeah.
Holocaust
Yeah,
survivors
yeah.
with their kids, like, you're not going to eat, or you don't know starving. You don't know starving!
Right,
All
right. Yeah.
So,
But I do think like when we were in family therapy, like my mom was more open about her own like struggles with anxiety
Really?
and depression. Yeah.
that's so good.
Because
Did-
after that, she I think started, going to
on
therapy
meds
and
and-
stuff. Yeah.
Did she cry? Did anyone cry in the therapy?
Not that I recall. She might have cried a little, or my sister might
Right.
have cried a little.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're listening to Kill Me Now with Judy Gold.
All right, so you graduate college with the psychology degree.
Yeah.
Did you do any performing?
I tried stand up the summer after I went on medication.
Really?
I think that's honestly what gave me the bravery to do it was that weird euphoric period. when
Right.
you first go on meds. I was like, why not try everything?
Right.
But then I didn't get the courage to really do it again until after I graduated and was
Right.
like, if you really want to do this, you got to go up more than once.
I know.
Every 3
I did.
years.
I started at 19, and I did stand up
Yeah.
as much as I could in college.
Yeah.
And I'd go to catch Rising Star on Monday nights. And then my senior year, I was like, I kind of want to be a college student.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it. And then I met my ex, Sharon.
Yeah.
I had gotten a job in New York, and and I was taking acting classes, and we went
Right.
out to lunch or something, and I said, I just stand up, and
Yeah.
I'm like, and she's like, you know what? Either do it or shut up about it, and that was it. And and then it was like 10 times a night.
Yeah.
I mean, in the 80s, you
Right.
could fucking do like
Right,
a million
right.
sets at happy hour, and okay, so. You do it? The first time you did stand up, did you feel euphoric?
I think I did because I thought it would go really badly, and then it went okay.
It's such a great feeling,
Crazy.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you graduate, and do you tell your parents I'm going to go do stand-up, or?
I think when I graduated, I moved back home and was still... I mean, even when I started stand-up, I wasn't like, oh, this is something I can make into a career.
Right.
It was very conservative approach.
Right.
But I think I was on a journalism track a little bit.
Right.
Where I like interned at a magazine, like a
Right.
city magazine, and then at like NPR.
Right, and you were living with your parents.
Yeah, and doing stand-up at night.
And how were they feeling about that?
I think they were like, oh, this is just something she's interested in right now.
Oh, I love
But-
your hobby.
Yeah,
Aparna.
yeah.
It's a
But it was like,
wonderful hobby.
grad school.
Yeah,
Eventually.
yeah. Did you go to grad school?
No.
Yeah.
I think I think I was there for maybe 4 years, and then
You lived with your parents for 4
Yeah.
years? What the?
I know.
Are you kidding?
I know.
I got out. I never went back. All right, really?
But the thing is, it was like very like I had a day job. I did
Were they
stand up at
strict
night.
still?
No, I mean I was never home. Was
Right.
the thing.
Where
It
have you
was-
been? Where have you been, Aparna?
And I figured like when I moved for the first time, I would have that money saved up.
Right.
So yeah.
And was your sister living at home or no?
No, she went to undergrad in New York and then never
Yeah.
looked back.
See, that's me. All right. So you leave. You know, first of all, at this point, have you had a depression?
like a period of depression.
Yeah.
Not since I was diagnosed. I feel like I was stable for a long time after that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when did you have the next episode?
I'm trying to think because there would be like flare-ups, but I don't think nothing serious until maybe like a big breakup or
Right.
yeah.
Wait, so you had a trigger that made you go in. But so what did the depression look like for you? Like, I mean, I was always really anxious, and then I'd go through periods where everything's wrong and I feel like I'm going to cry, and the world's against me, and
it would be more like ongoing like low level
Right.
like jags of it where it
Right.
would be like bad mood, unmotivated, like thoughts of hopelessness.
Right.
So it would sort of just spring up, maybe every few weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
So when did you have a relationship in college, or?
I dated someone my senior year, and then we broke up. I think because he was a year behind me, so I think we
Right.
broke up when he graduated.
What was his name?
Carrie?
Carrie?
Like
K-
Kerry.
All right, not Jewish. All right, and what was he studying?
He was Jewish.
He was?
Yeah.
They usually do Cary, the Jews. What was he studying?
He, I think, was like a French major. Well, French and like international
fuck him.
relations.
So who broke up with who?
I think he did. It was a little messy because it was like he was kind of like, oh, I thought we were only staying together until I graduated.
Fuck you, Carrie, you fucking asshole.
And then we broke up, and then he was like, oh, I made a mistake.
Yeah, you
And
sure did, you fucking asshole. Okay, so I hate you, Carrie.
he actually had his moms were lesbians, and then
Yeah, I love you, Carrie. Yeah.
and then they separated. So then he grew up with 4 lesbian moms.
Yeah,
'cause
that's
they-
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
like my miserable kids. But they've had a rotating one on Sharon's side. I've had the same one.
Same.
Yeah, they have rotations on Sharon's side. Okay, so, did your parents know that he had lesy parents?
Yeah.
And they didn't care?
I think they weren't like they were a little. He was my first serious boyfriend, so
Right.
I think they were a little bit like, "How do we feel about you?" They weren't sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you graduate, 4 years, and then when do you start doing the stand-up? Like, what was your job for the 4 years? Your day
I
job?
worked at a trade magazine. I was like
Right.
an editor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's still
Perfect. You don't have
following
to
the
talk to people.
Journalism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And-
I was a typesetter.
Oh wow.
Yes, I was typesetter, and I do this stand-up at night. But they don't have typesetting anymore.
I know. I was like, do they even
Yeah.
do that anymore? I then moved to LA. I started dating a comic maybe 2 years into stand up.
Name?
Hampton Yunt. He is based in LA.
Hampton Yent?
Yent.
Like Yenta?
I only date people
Not
with
Jewish.
unusual.
Yeah. Carrie and Hampton. Hampton Yent. Is he funny, Hampton Yent?
He's very funny.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
And how long did that one last? Look
That
how
lasted
cute
a
she
while.
is.
Just
You are the cutest thing. You have the cutest face. I'm not kidding. Yeah. Okay. So that lasted a while.
Just under 5 years. We moved to LA at the same time because I
Did
met
you
him
live
in
together?
DC. We did. Yeah, we lived.
Aparna, I need to talk to you. No. Okay. So you live together. That must suck living with another comic.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the end, what did us in, we're both sort of naturally depressive, and I think in the end that doesn't work.
Right. You need one person.
You need
who's,
one person
yeah.
who functions. But,
Wow.
yeah.
So what part of LA did you live? And where were you working? You were doing stand-up where?
We lived in Hollywood, like
Right.
shy of West Hollywood.
Right.
And I was still temping at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
And where did you do sets?
I think I was there when the alt scene was sort of taken off.
Right.
Like the, I don't know, meltdown.
Did you
Nerd
go to
Melt.
Largo or anything like that? Or
Largo, I think I discovered later, but it was a lot of UCB, Nerd Melt.
what about Uncabaret?
I keep hearing about Uncabaret, but I've never done it.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about Beth Lapidus, Jew, and Uncabaret, Jew. So she started this Uncabaret
Yeah.
thing, Beth, and I was friends with her, but she would never let me go on it.
Why?
Because I told, and I'm not even a joke teller.
Right.
You know, my stand-up is really stories.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like cool like David Cross, and you know, I was always the nerdy.
But I thought that's what it's for.
I know, but I wasn't. Because my friend Judy told, God rest her soul, rest in peace, used to always try to get me on. And
Yeah.
she's like, no. So now I'm going there.
Yeah.
I don't know, when does this air? Because I'll be in LA.
They still do it, right?
Yeah, so I'll be there February 2nd and 3rd at Flappers. But on the 1st,
Yeah.
Beth Lapidus is interviewing me for the
my
West
gosh.
Hollywood Library, and she said, do you want to do Uncabaret on Sunday?
Yeah.
And I called Judy, told sister Joanna, and I was like, you're not going to fuck. Judy is rolling over in her grave, because I finally, it took 30 fucking years, I've been asked to do Uncabaret, yeah. But I loved Uncabaret, yeah. Okay, so you sort of went in the alt. Mm-hmm. And then, so you never worked at the Comedy Store or the Improv?
I think
or
I
Laugh
would do
Factory?
one-off shows there.
Right.
But yeah.
And then, what was your first writing job?
And then my first writing job brought me to New York because
For
I started working
Kamal?
on Totally Biased.
Yeah, I love that. I did it once.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yes.
I love him.
I know, he's great.
Yeah, it's so sad when, those shows
But he's
get
doing
canceled.
great
But he's
now.
doing great now, yeah.
Yeah.
So you go to LA, you're doing, and then you come back to New York. That's your first writing job. Mm-hmm. And then have you done any stand-up at this point on television?
I think when I started working at Totally Biased was when maybe a year in I did Conan.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were so funny.
Oh, thank you.
And how many, have you done more than one Conan?
Now I've done it twice.
Nice.
Yeah.
They asked me to do a set, and then I was like, because I hate doing stand up on those shows. I like
know,
doing
it's so
panel.
hard. Yeah.
It's so hard for people who are not like, hey, I don't blah, da 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 da, but da ba 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 ba. So I always am like, I don't want to do a set because it's like,
Yeah, it's a little bit stilted.
yeah.
I feel like.
So at this point, is Twitter what it is?
Yeah, I think Twitter. I joined in 2000 when I still had a day job in like
Right.
2008 or 9,
I'm opening
and then by now it's like really people are like, oh yeah, comedians on Twitter are like that's a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm going to just go on your Twitter account. You're so fucking brilliant. If everyone, please, if you don't already, you're an asshole. You have 86,000 followers.
Oh my god.
Well, 380.6. So that'd be 381. Okay, I have 42. What the fuck? What do you think how do you think you got so many followers?
When I started, it really was just like another procrastination thing. But when I saw people using it to write jokes, I think I was like, oh, I kind of like using it this way. So then I just really got into that. But I mean, I didn't really have any strategy or anything other than just like posting funny stuff every day. But I guess that is posting every day. I know some people are like, how do you post every day? And I guess I just okay,
I'm just going to do a couple.
By the way, I'm sorry, just before you start, her Twitter is Aparnapkin.
Oh, Aparnapkin?
Yeah.
Aparnapkin.
So follow her.
Yeah. And then follow me too, so I can get more.
At Judy Gold, spelled
JEWDYGOLD.
And at Hennessy Howley, not that it matters.
No. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. But why did Kim and Conway name their kid what sounds like a recently gentrified neighborhood? I mean, you're so fucking funny. You're so funny.
Judy.
Wait, I got to do more. Because I live for your tweet. Dude, people stop you on the street.
I am surprised sometimes where people are like, I love your Twitter. And I'm like, how do you even recognize me?
Government control, alt-right, delete.
Fun fake behind the scenes fact. The obelisk.
Oh, that was a live tweet.
Oh, all right. Fuck that one. All right. No, let's see. I am most jealous of Benjamin Button because he could show up on a Forbes 25 under 25 list, wrinkled as hell and proud. Do people know who Benjamin Button? Yeah, they probably do.
I just, there are some references that people don't get now that are troubling.
It's just, you're so, all right. So you then wrote, did you write for Seth Meyers? Mm-hmm. Did you get that from, so when you came back to do Kamal, did you never go back to LA?
Right. I think that
I can't even see you in LA.
That show ended after a year, and then I was like, I think I just like the stand-up scene here better. And
isn't it a great stand-up scene here?
So good.
I like how you described New York once as visceral, like compared to LA.
Oh.
It's just very visceral here.
But you also have to sit in a fucking car in LA. I mean, I love LA.
I know. There are a lot of great things about LA, but I think the things that make stand-up good for some reason are harder sometimes there.
Agreed.
So now what do you do? I mean, I love the way you use your depression, like that picking up the pills bit. You know, I have often tried to when I was depressed, I had I've said this 100 times, but I had diurnal depression. So at night, I would still try to go out and do stand-up. I couldn't write any new jokes.
Oh, right.
But my mother, I'll never forget, God rest her in peace, whatever. No, there's no peace for her. But anyway, so, but she, every day, when I was in this horrible clinical stress, she'd call me up. Are you better? Are you better? Judith, are you better? Are you better? Are you better? Are you better?
Oh my God.
And it was like, no, I'm not. But I love the way you use it, you know.
Yeah.
It's just you're so fucking funny.
Well, I think I first started writing about it because I was also like in a depressive rut and I couldn't write about anything else. So I was like, well,
it consumes your entire...
it consumes everything.
Right.
And it sort of puts a filter on everything so you don't even see anything the same way.
What are you working on now?
Right now, I mean, I'm mainly working on trying to build a new chunk of stand-up.
Right.
So I'm mainly been in
because you did a special.
Well, I taped a special for Netflix for the half hour.
Right. You did. Has it been on yet?
It's not out. I think they come out this February. Maybe?
I'm too old. Anyway, so you did.
She's referring to that. What? You're too old to do a special?
Well, they've asked and asked and asked, and they're like, "Yeah, no." I mean, I have so much material. I haven't done a special in 10 years. Oh, please, Aparna, you'll understand when you're my age. But
also she's on season 4 of BoJack Horseman, which is one of the best seasons, and she's awesome new character. And I hope they keep you on, I hope you keep coming, back on the show.
She's so cute. Look at her face. Do you have a boyfriend?
I do.
Who?
He's
you can just do first name.
Gabriel. He's a Jew.
What does he do?
He's a book publisher.
Oh my God, that's perfect for you.
Well, it's great that
Is
he
she
doesn't
gonna
do comedy.
Yeah. Is he gonna do your book? Your next book?
Maybe. That would be fun.
Yeah. Are you gonna get married?
We have not talked about it. But
how long you been together?
It's only been a year and a half.
Do you live together?
No.
Oh, that's good.
That'll probably be the next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want you marrying a Jew. Is your sister married?
No, but she's in a committed. I don't think they believe in marriage.
Really?
Yeah. They have a domestic partnership.
Oh, yeah. So, what? So, now I forgot my fucking train of thought. I'm so excited about Gabriel. This is what I want to talk about. So, I've been talking to a lot of comics.
Yeah.
About, they've had Netflix specials and they feel like their material's eaten up now.
Yeah.
You can't do that material in clubs anymore.
I know.
It wasn't like that years ago in the 80s and 90s. I mean, you would do a special, you wouldn't but because I did an HBO special in 94, not everyone had HBO.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It was special.
Right. And these Netflix specials, now they're doing 15-minute specials.
I know.
And you can watch them over and over again.
Right.
So you can memorize an entire special.
Right. So I want to do an album, which is what I'm working on.
Yeah.
Because when I was growing up and I listened to albums, stand-up albums, when I would see that comic, I'd want them to do that bit.
Right.
It was like a singer.
Yeah.
You'd want to see them because you're only listening to the bit and then you could see it live.
Yeah.
So, and that's how I feel like you should listen to stand up.
I think so too.
You do these specials. Not that I would say no,
right.
They edit them. It's not the same experience of recording something in front of a live studio audience, and I don't know. It's just...
It's not comics editing it either.
Right.
Right. No, that's true.
And it's just like... funny is so subjective.
It is. I don't know. I feel like watching taped stand-up is just so different than being at a show.
Beyond.
But then listening to it is its own thing.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I agree. I love listening to it.
What's the name of your special? Did you name it?
No, these half hours don't have a name. They're just half hours.
Oh, God.
I guess you need an hour to get a name.
So now you're working on new material.
Yeah.
And what else do you hold in the future besides the marriage to Gabriel under the chuppah?
Well, just like the acting and writing jobs, but
do you take acting classes?
No, I probably should, but all the ones I've taken have been such painful experiences.
What, you got to get the right teacher.
I know.
Who have you?
Well, in LA, I did Leslie Kahn because a lot of people did that one. But,
right.
But I feel like a lot of people have had traumatizing experiences with her.
Who? I don't even know her.
She's like
she's Jewish, right?
School, but it's like a little culty, and I think she's...
See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like learn scene study, learn technique, Yeah. I hate that whole mental, tell me about your...
when you get touched.
Tell me. It's like I teach solo performance.
Yeah.
And I hear everything in my class, but I feel like I have to because I can't have them writing about bullshit. But it's not like I'm like...
Well, and a lot of their stories are personal.
Right. When I'm teaching people how to write one-person shows and they want to write about some bullshit that no one cares about, it's like the thing you don't want to write about is the thing that you should be writing about.
Right.
So, but I hate that whole thing too.
No.
It's mental. I'm going to help you get a good acting.
Ooh, I would love that.
All right. So,
Judy is a great teacher and a great, I feel like you're really in your element when
I'm
you're teaching. Yeah. And I feel like you'd be a really good acting teacher too, because you're a good actor.
I know, but I just want to act.
I know.
I get that.
I mean, it's like...
you're great. You should.
I feel like, and I love teaching, but it's like, I feel like...
No, it's not.
It's what?
It's not the same.
No, and I feel like I got that opportunity on I'm Dying Up Here, to have a juicy part. Why is it now it's how many years? It's almost It's a year and a half later. Can I have another fucking?
Yeah.
I know I'm 6'2", but
Yeah.
So you're going to write new material. Mm-hmm. You're probably going to do a lot of publicity for your special. What do you want? What's your ultimate goal?
I think to be on a show, and also help create it. Because I think I don't know, I have a pretty specific point of view, so
Right.
I think it just is easier to write. And
You could
create
write
my
a
own.
show about a girl's eating disorder clinic.
Oh, yeah.
And I could be one of the counselors. Hi, girls. You look fat today.
Every day.
What are you laughing at?
This is
Yeah,
you
whatever.
guys. Funny. I'm in a room with comics. Shit.
So we ask first of all, I love you. So I just want you to know that I think you're so fucking smart and talented.
That is very kind.
It's not kind. It's the fucking truth. And you're young. You're only, 35? Mm-hmm. So you're in the primo.
Is that what my mom says?
No, you are. Please, if I could go back to 35. 37. Stop picking your face.
Sorry.
37.
Sorry, Dad.
Someone told me that 37 is the age, like whatever style you wear in
Yeah.
clothing at 37 is the style you wear for the rest of your life. Someone once told me that. Because you do look at like older women
Yeah.
in their 60s and 70s, and they're like,
Dressed to the nines.
but yeah, dressed like
Right.
they, All right. So what pisses you off? Like, and I'm talking about makes you fucking crazy, like pissed off. What pisses you off the most? We always ask.
Recently, and this might just be a byproduct of living in New York, but people who are not aware of personal space
Oh, yeah.
drives
Yeah.
me insane.
I know, especially on the fucking subway.
Yeah.
Like, give me an example.
Like
getting
they
aggravated.
will have their whole arm wrapped around the pole, but
Yeah.
you're like also holding it,
Right.
and then they'll like
or their entire back
touch
up
you.
against
Yeah,
it. They'll
yeah.
just lean their
and
whole
they know
body up
you're
against
right
it.
there.
What about
Yeah.
when you're sitting, right? You're sitting in the seat.
And they put your hand under your ass.
No, shut the fuck up. You're sitting in the seat.
Yeah.
And someone gets in and is leaning against, like their back is to you and their fucking backpack is hitting you and
Oh,
shit
I
like that. And you're like,
hate
get
that.
the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
I can't take the man spreaders either.
I can't.
and
I
they
can't do
sit
any of
there.
it.
You could be
Yeah.
pregnant
I know.
with a gun to your head and they won't fucking get up.
Yeah, your balls are not that
Yeah.
big.
It's terrible.
There's no way.
It's unbelievable. So personal space. Do you think also personal space that's not tangible gets on your fucking nerves?
Oh, how so?
Like you said, I hate when, people are in my, don't give you personal space. But also there are people who take your fucking brain space as well.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
That
yes,
pisses me
yes.
off too.
Oh, I hate that too.
And
yeah, I mean, I don't know if you get this, but I feel like the more, if people know me from something now, they'll like write me emails where
Right.
it's like a little bit too much information.
Right.
And I know that's never intentional. Like they're just like
But it's-
opening up. But
yeah.
But I do feel like, oh no, well now that's now in my brain.
But it's also that they think they know you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're bearing your soul on stage.
Right.
So they think that, they can go, you know what?
Right.
I also. Shut the fuck up. Shut your fucking. I don't fucking care. Okay?
But you feel like you can't do it. 'cause
Right.
it's
And then
ungrateful.
and then the other side is, oh, thank you so much for writing. I'm so glad. And you're like, yeah. It's so, but I don't think male comics do that. I think male comics are like, fuck you. Yeah. All right, yeah. Fuck you. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you like talking to audience members after shows? 'Cause
No, I remember as a little girl,
Yeah.
I heard that Barbara Streisand doesn't like to talk to her audience.
Oh.
And I remember thinking, you know what? I love you, Barbara, but when I'm famous, I'm going to talk to every. And it's like, no, because you can't believe. I don't
Yeah.
know if they do it to other performers, but to comics, they feel like they can tell you, they feel like they can tell you a joke.
Yeah.
Or, you know what you should do, another funny thing about, that they also feel like they can tell you because you're so personal on stage.
Right.
And usually comedy is so up close.
Right.
So you're really in there with the audience. It's
Right.
not like you're up on stage,
Right.
far away.
Right. It's it's so interesting that people think that you want to hear their fucking problems.
It's crazy.
I know.
You hear that, audience?
Have you ever been rude to anyone?
I generally go out of my way to not be rude, but sometimes I think I'll just leave a situation if I'm too uncomfortable.
Let me ask you a question. So you're like one of the nicest people ever, and you're in show business, right?
Yeah.
And you have an agent, manager.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever say fuck off to that? Like, is there any time that they're like, Aparna, I think you should, be writing blah 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 or doing blah blah, and you're like, go fuck yourself?
I'm getting better at saying no, but I think I still sometimes agree to do things I don't want.
I do that. I know.
Yeah.
As if they fucking know better.
Right.
And they don't, because
Right.
they're not performers or writers.
Right.
It's like, oh, this is popular now,
Right,
so you
right,
think
right,
I
right,
should
right.
do it. But it wasn't popular, 5 years ago. I hate this business.
Yeah.
Is so infuriating. What else? Well, we know what other. We're very pro mental health on this show.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about anxiety and depression. What other drugs have you been on? What other meds?
Now I'm on Cymbalta.
Oh, I did the Cymbalta.
And that, I think, is what is making it hard to think of words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one? You're just on one?
Yeah. For a while, I was on Lexapro and Wellbutrin, but the Wellbutrin
yes.
was too much for me.
Why? I'm on the
It made
Wellbutrin
me
now.
night sweats and then jaw clenching constantly.
Yeah, I got off the Paxil and I stopped with my hot flashes, but then I noticed I have been getting a little sweaty at night.
Huh.
And the Wellbutrin started as a smoking cessation drug.
Right.
Do you take anything for sleep?
No, I mean, weirdly, my sleep has been better on the Cymbalta and less groggy than the Lexapro.
And then what about, do you smoke pot or anything?
No.
I knew it.
I've
cute.
never,
Did you ever try it?
Yeah, but it never did.
Aparna! What is that smell? Yeah.
You're already there.
Yeah.
You're already there. I smoke to get where you're at right now.
Yeah, you
the
smoke.
vibes.
Let's
The
talk
vibes.
about your smoking.
Let's
First of
talk
all,
about it.
the rule is you cannot smoke before the show.
I haven't.
Right. He used to be like, no, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me. It fucking affects you. You think it doesn't affect you, and it affects you. Or if it didn't affect you, you wouldn't do it.
Exactly.
Okay. Really? You're agreeing with me?
Yeah, I do agree with you.
Okay, thanks. And drink? Do you drink at all?
I drink.
Like what? You're so perfect.
Well, I'll drink.
She's so
to
cute.
take the edge off. I'll
Right.
drink before shows because I still get really bad nerves before I perform.
Oh, I never do it before. I do it after.
Well, I feel like most comics are like, I can't drink before I perform, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
but
I
then
feel
there's
like
a whole
sometimes I
bunch.
can't.
No, there's a bunch that do.
Yeah.
Like I could never get stoned before. Ugh.
Right.
I've seen a lot of comics on stage with their drink.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like you don't go to your office and have a drink unless it's, Mad Men in the 60s.
I know.
Do we have to hang up? What's that face, Seth? Is that your wrap it up face?
Wrap it up.
What, you're not talking now?
Wrap it up.
Shut the fuck up. Aparna, so people can see you at Aparna Napkin.
Aparna Napkin on Twitter and just aparnacomedy.com is my website.
And what's coming up for you? Do you want to plug anything?
This show I'm on Comedy Central just premiered last Wednesday called Corporate.
Yes.
Yes.
How is that?
It's the first show I've been a regular on, so I think it was received
What do you play?
well. I'm an HR rep.
Every comic plays an HR person. We discussed this.
Really? Yeah.
When
but
we
that's
did that
so
Vice thing.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
have played a lot of HR people.
That's very
Yeah,
funny. Well,
yeah.
corporate also probably has a lot of roles like that.
Yeah.
Because it's about the corporate offices, right?
Well,
So-
I'm too old for that, by the way. And we did our Vice thing. That was fun.
That was fun.
Right.
Yeah.
And then all the Trump haters like writing in like,
oh my gosh, there were so
I know.
many.
It's like we're talking about Trump in the comedy age and they're getting all, it's like, shut the fuck
I
up.
know. It was such a...
They have no sense of humor. Any gigs coming up? When is this airing?
In 2 weeks.
Oh, in 2 weeks.
Okay, let's see. In 2
San
weeks, let's
Francisco.
see. So that would be
this weekend.
Would that be February 6th? So anything the week of February 6th?
Oh, I don't know off the top of
That's
my
great.
head.
So I'll be in New Hope on February 10th. We're done with, and then I'm in Indiana, in Bloomington, where my son goes to school.
The Attic?
Yeah, isn't it the best?
It's the best.
Jared, I love that fucking club.
He's great.
I know. So 15, 16, 17, I'm there. And I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. Do you think Trump's going to get impeached?
I hope so. I'm probably the only person who still thinks he will, but...
No, that Alan Lichtman, who predicted he would win. He was the only person that predicted he would win. He thinks he'll be impeached for money laundering.
I hope so.
It's got to be for something.
I mean, I can't believe. I thought he hired people to do his laundering. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Aparna, I would love to work with you. If you ever write something, please.
Oh my gosh, of course.
I mean, I think you're so fucking talented.
Thank you.
And cute and adorable, and I would have totally been friends with you in high school.
I see a show you guys called Hinju.
Hinju.
I think it could work.
Yeah. Okay. That's great.
Action.
That's funny. Maybe I get a job at a Hindu temple.
There you go.
What do you think?
Sure.
Shut the fuck up. Aparna, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And as we always say, so long!
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.